Attack of the Clones, one of the most thrilling, romantic, and action-packed films in all of Star Wars. But what if I told you this movie was almost even crazier? Well, in the film, there were many deleted scenes that would have changed the way we see Star Wars forever. In this video, we're going to break down 10 of these deleted scenes, and as the list goes on, it gets pretty insane. So let's get right into it. Number 10. At number 10, we have one of the most unique deleted scenes on this list. Just after Anakin brought Padme to Naboo, we saw their first kiss and even saw them playing in the grass, but there was supposed to be one more scene here. See, at one point, Anakin was going to meet Padme's family. He would have met her little nieces, her mother, her father, and even her sister. From there, they all would have even had dinner together, and the family would have spent some time getting to know Anakin. At one point, Anakin even got some one-on-one time with Padme's father, and they had a good talk.
Padme tells me you teach at the university.
Yeah. Before that, I was a builder. I also worked for a freedom relief movement, but I was very young.
However, as they spoke further, the conversation took a bit of a turn.
How serious is this thing? How much danger is my daughter really in?
There have been 2 attempts on her life. Chances are there will be more. My master's tracking down the assassins. I'm sure he'll find out who they are. The situation won't last long.
I don't want anything to happen to her.
I don't either.
Meanwhile, as they were outside, Padme, her mother, and her sister had their own conversation, which was way different.
Why haven't you told us about him?
What's there to talk about? He's just a boy.
A boy? Have you seen the way he looks at you?
So let's stop it.
It's obvious he has feelings for you.
Anakin and I are friends. Our relationship is strictly professional.
As you can see from that look her mother gives her, she knows when her daughter is lying, and it's safe to say she was right. Now, many fans have spoken out saying that they were upset these scenes were deleted, mainly since it shows a bit more into Padme's upbringing and we get to learn more about where she came from. However, George Lucas felt that these scenes slowed down the film, and although it wasn't an easy choice to make, he eventually cut them out. Number 9. While Anakin spent time at Padme's family home, there was actually one more scene connected with the last one we just spoke about. At one point, Padme showed Anakin her room, and well, he was mesmerized. He mentioned that he never really had a home before, so seeing how she had her own room shocked him.
Never really had a home. Home was always where my mom was.
However, then the conversation shifted a bit.
Is this you?
That was when I went with a relief group. Their sun was imploding and the planet was dying. I was helping me locate all the children. It was so full of life. They all were.
Now, although the scene was brief, it shows how different she and Anakin were brought up, and also dives into Padme's backstory a bit. Personally, I love all these scenes showing her family and her old life, as they would have been really cool to see. However, the next scene on our list is way different. Number 8. At number 8, we have a bit of a shocking deleted scene here. Now, throughout the prequels, we all saw how hard Windu was on Anakin, and how the two didn't really get along so well. However, in this scene right here, we would have seen a different side to him, one that suggests he actually believed in Anakin. As he and Obi-Wan walked together here, Obi-Wan explained that he was worried about Anakin. Just before this scene, he was sent with Padme to go to Naboo, but Obi-Wan was convinced that Anakin was too emotionally attached to her and wouldn't do a good job protecting her. However, that's when Windu stepped in.
Master, we should not have been given this assignment. I fear Anakin will not be able to protect the senator.
Why?
He has an emotional connection with her. It's been there since he was a boy. Now he's confused. Distracted.
Obi-Wan, you must have faith that he will choose the right path.
This is kind of a shocking one, since we really never get to see this side of Windu throughout the prequels, but honestly, I love it. In a way, it shows that he believes in Anakin's abilities, and even has a bit of faith in him. Now, if only Anakin tried out NordVPN, maybe Windu would have finally trusted him a bit more. You might be asking yourself though, what's NordVPN? Well, have you ever logged on to a really sus website by accident and then you start getting all these ads and viruses and all that mess? Well, that's exactly where NordVPN comes into place and saves the day. Not only is Nord one of the fastest VPNs in the world, but it'll protect you way more than how Anakin protected his youngling friends here. Oh, too far? With Nord's Threat Protection Pro, it'll always protect you from getting dangerous ads after entering those really sus websites, and will check any infections on anything you've downloaded. But that's not all. Nord also offers what they call their dark web monitor, where you'll always be protected from hackers and it'll always alert you if any of your passwords or details are potentially at risk. All you need to do is install Nord and it'll always scan for anything suspicious, literally at all times. But that's not all. You ever want to watch your favorite TV show or movie but you can't because it's not available in your country? Well, Nord's got you covered. With their VPN services, you can access almost any country you wish and get access to everything you might be restricted to, all while staying safe and protected. So what are you waiting for? Don't underestimate the power of the dangers online. Instead, go ahead and get this exclusive NordVPN deal plus 4 months extra by clicking the link in the description or by going to nordvpn.com/VadersOrder. That's nordvpn.com/VadersOrder and is completely risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Thanks so much to NordVPN for sponsoring us. Now let's get back into our next scene. Number 7. Just after Obi-Wan's conversation with Windu, he began looking for clues on the Camino saber dart that he encountered earlier. As we saw in the film, he went to the Jedi archives and even to Dex's diner. However, there were a few scenes in between here that were completely cut out. See, as Obi-Wan arrived to the Jedi archives, the first thing we saw was him speaking to the librarian Jocasta Nu. Look closely though, see this statue right here? Well, this is actually Count Dooku, and the two are going to speak about him in a deep conversation.
He has a very powerful face, doesn't he? He was one of the most brilliant Jedi I've had the privilege of knowing.
I never understood why he quit.
Well, one might say he was always a bit out of step with the decisions of the Council. In the end, I think he left because he lost faith in the Republic. He disappeared for 9 of 10 years and turned up recently as head of the Separatist movement.
It's very interesting. I'm not sure I completely understand.
Personally, I think this would have added so much depth to Dooku's story and why he fell to the dark side. Luckily though, we get a lot of answers to this in the animated show Tales of the Jedi, and that also really expands on what Jocasta was saying here. Regardless, it would have been a great scene to include. However, the next scene on our list takes place just a few minutes later. Number 6. Just after Obi-Wan spent time at the Jedi archives, he began searching for more info on the Camino saber dart. As we saw, his journey led him to Dex's diner. But here's the catch. Instead of just randomly showing up to Dex, we actually learned the reason why he went. See, moments before that scene, we would have seen Obi-Wan get an analysis on the dart.
It's a toxic dart. I need to know where it came from and who made it.
From there, the droids got to work and began analyzing it, but in time they shared some unfortunate news.
Markings cannot be identified. As you can see on your screen, subject weapon does not exist in any known culture. Probably self-made by a warrior, not associated with any known society. Stand away from the sensor tray, please.
However, as Obi-Wan looked closely at the dart, he then realized who could help him.
I know who can identify this.
From there, the scene would have then transitioned into Dex's diner, and that would have shown why Obi-Wan chose to go there. Although this would have been another brief scene, it definitely connects well, and would have added more depth into Obi-Wan's investigation. Number 5. At number 5, we fast forward to later in the film when we reach the Battle of Geonosis. Now, this battle showed a lot. It started the Clone Wars, it showed us many different Jedi in battle, and we really got our first look at the clones in action. However, there was way more that was going to be added. Before the battle even started, we would have seen a scene with Anakin, Padme, and Count Dooku all speaking together. In their conversation, Padme would have asked Dooku to release Obi-Wan, since she knew he was kept captive here. However, in response, Dooku said,
"We don't recognize the Republic here, Senator. But if Naboo were to join our alliance, I could easily hear your plea for clemency.
And if I don't join your rebellion?
The Republic cannot be fixed, my lady. It is time to start over."
As a result, Padme would have gotten upset and told him that she would never betray the Republic and everything that she's worked for. In response, Dooku realized that the conversation was going nowhere, so he ended the negotiations with her. From there, the Geonosians would have taken Padme and Anakin away. However, there is one more deleted scene that ties into this. Number 4. Just seconds after Padme and Dooku had their failed negotiations, she and Anakin were then sent to a trial. From there, Anakin and Padme were taken away once again. But here's the crazy part. This deleted scene would have then tied into this scene right here where the two go out into the arena together. So while both that and the negotiation scene were short, it adds some context to Anakin and Padme's capture. In the end though, these scenes were cut because George Lucas felt like they slowed down the film a bit. Number 3. At number 3, we have another scene from Geonosis, but this one is a bit more brutal. Now in the film, we all saw Windu chop Jango Fett's head off like a fruit ninja, but this scene was almost way more intense. See, originally it was gonna go down like this. Notice the difference? Well, in this version, we would have seen Windu slice off both of Jango's arms, stab his leg, and then cut his head off. Now, while it has the same result as what we got, it just shows how ruthless Windu was when killing him. Number 2. At number 2, we have one of the most powerful deleted scenes by Padme herself. Now, at the start of the film, we saw her almost get assassinated, and sadly as a result, one of her body doubles were killed. However, after all this happened, Padme was furious, and so in this scene, she addressed the Senate about what just went down.
My noble colleagues, less than an hour ago, an assassination attempt was made against my life. One of my bodyguards and 6 others were ruthlessly and senselessly murdered. I was the target, but more importantly, the security measure before you was the target. I have led the opposition to building this army, and someone will stop at nothing to assure its passage. Wake up, senators, you must wake up! If you offer the separatists violence, they can only show violence in return. Many will lose their lives, all will lose their freedom. I pray you do not let fear push you into disaster. Vote down this security measure, which is nothing less than a declaration of war. Does anyone here want that? I cannot believe they do.
From there, the crowd roared in agreement with Padme, which really shows how powerful her voice was. Here's the crazy part though. Not only did everyone agree with her, but it also threw Palpatine back. As soon as she made this speech, Palpatine shut down the rest of the hearing and let nobody else speak. In a way, it shows that he saw her as a threat, especially with everyone agreeing with her. However, the next scene on our list might just be the craziest. Number 1. At our top spot, we go to the final showdown between Count Dooku and Yoda. Now, throughout the duel, we saw them pretty much evenly matched the entire time, but things were almost way different. See, for this fight, Yoda was originally going to embarrass Dooku pretty badly, which then forced Dooku to do the unthinkable. To defend himself, he would have then force-pulled the nearby second saber to hold his own against the Grand Master. To do this, he would have used Obi-Wan's saber that was on the ground, and from there, use it to fight up against Yoda. Personally, I think this would have been cool to see, but I'm also glad it was never added. Dooku has always been known for his elegant and swift combat style, so using 2 sabers would have felt way too similar to what Anakin did just minutes prior. But I want to know from you, out of all the scenes we've spoken about on this list, which would you have wanted to be added? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you always.